Coming up on the Broadway Shuffle, Texas Tech pulls off an epic comeback against Arkansas. That and much more next on the Broadway Shuffle. We're here. Episode 67. I don't even know. It's 12:15 at night, and I am. Welcome to the Broadway Shuffle. We're all just trying to figure out what the heck we just witnessed. An epic comeback by Texas Tech. We've got Clayton, Conrad, and Zyler here. I'm Brennan. Guys, I mean, Clayton, you just rushed home to get to the podcast. We're watching the game together. We're hugging. We're just hugging, and it was just a fantastic. We're doing things. We're hugging. We're kissing, and dude, I mean, what a game! I don't even know where to start other than this was just one of the most resilient wins in Texas Tech history. Any sport, you're down 13-15, under 5 minutes to go, and you win 85-83 against Arkansas. Conrad, I want to go to you first because you endured some of the biggest bullying online from Arkansas fans in our previous section or in our previous episode. So what are your thoughts, man? Like, walk us through what we just witnessed, Texas Tech coming back against Arkansas.
All I've got to say is toughest team wins. We did not play how we should have played all game. It was a game that we probably should have lost. But at the end of the game, when it mattered most, we clawed our way back in and found a way to win. You know, Arkansas played well all night. We did not hit our shots. But at the end of the day, the better team won, the better university won. And we're sitting here at 12:15 at night talking about, or in the morning, really, talking about a victory that we took care of. And, you know, to all the Arkansas fans joining us for this episode, you said you'd be back. We're happy you're here. Make sure to hit the subscribe button and let us know what you think about that game down below, because all I know is that we're dancing on Saturday and you guys are going back to Fayetteville. So, wreck 'em, baby. Let's go. I don't even know what to say. I can't even communicate. It's unbelievable what we just witnessed.
Z, put words to this, because I think we're all just kind of, I don't even know. Yeah. I am just so elated. I can't even comprehend what just transpired.
You know, I have several thoughts, and we'll get to a lot of them. But, you know, we had talked a lot about how this March Madness hadn't really delivered. And fortunately for you, your game got to deliver, and you were on the good side of that. Second largest Sweet 16 comeback of all time. So shout out to you overcoming a 16-point deficit. I don't know if Kenny Payne had anything to do with that. I said a lot of mean things about Kenny Payne, and I stand behind all of those. He's not a good coach, and he shouldn't be coaching for Arkansas. If they can do better than that. And, man, Calipari, 35-0. when leading by 6 points at halftime. And that was until tonight. He is now 35-1. So has he lost his fastball? I don't know.
Yes, he has.
What a fun environment. I'm going to be intermittently reading some of these comments. We got a lot. It's almost 200 on our page.
Make sure you're speaking to the mic. Make sure you really emphasize some of these.
Yeah. I'm gonna take. I don't want to read all of them, but I'm gonna get to some good ones here in a little bit. But yeah, what a fun win, and what a weird way to win a game. You know, if you told me we were going to shoot 25% from the three, that Darian was going to take, I mean, how many shots did he have? I mean, he shot, oh my word, he shot 26 times and only made 8 of them. And we were going to win? Like, no way. I mean, we killed him on the glass. I'll say that. We did kill him on the glass.
Yes. But, and Clay, we were watching this game together, and we kept saying, like, you're still not out of it. Like, you get down 13-15, and then subtly it'd be 7, then it'd be 8, and then obviously the Christian 3, and now you're only down 3. I mean, this team, they just found a way to win, and this is now the 3rd game in this tournament. You've won by the 3 against Wilmington. You've won by bully ball against Drake, and this time you just freaking found a way. Like, it wasn't pretty. You struggled from the field again. Darian was 2 of 12 at half. Christian couldn't hit a shot. Elijah Hawkins, who I do want to hit on Hawkins real quick before we get into it, is I know he struggled. Maybe his worst game probably since high school, you know, in terms of him. He would say that. He was awful. But he had a huge 3 in overtime, and he had 2 great defensive stands against Wagner at the end of regulation and the end of overtime. So I want to give praise to Hawkins where it's due, that is a senior guy who stayed with it, stayed physical, and tried to impact the game where he could. He will not play like that again against Florida. That was, you know, a tough game for him, obviously, but I think he is an example of the resilience that you showed to find a way to win, Clay. Just thoughts on the game, man. I know I got to, like I said, I got to hug and kiss you after the game, but really give me your thoughts on Texas Tech's win.
Yeah, you got my raw thoughts. First off, I wish someone would have told me that Arkansas was the only team in the country that had injury concerns this year. If I had known that, I never would have said that they were the worst team in the tournament. It definitely wasn't because they were by far the lowest rated team on KenPom. They were 4 seeds lower than next. If I had known that they had any injuries all year, I never would have said that. So apologies to Arkansas. But yeah, like you said, man, shout out to Hawkins. I feel like everyone stepped up at their time. Like, you know, Kevin Overton kind of got you through the beginning of the game. And then I thought Christian and JT kind of carried you through the middle and kept you within striking distance. And then Darion made plays late. But yeah, Hawkins, you know, he made some plays on offense, more specifically defense. He's going to be huge against Florida guarding Clayton. Yeah, I mean, everyone at their time, you know, obviously shooting 8 for 32 from 3 is not going to win you a lot of games, especially when the other team's shooting 40%. But you survived. I mean, you survived Knox shooting 100% from 3, John L. Davis with his best game of the year. So such a gritty win, man. Like, whenever we were down 16, and then even after that, whenever I think they hit a bucket to go back up 11 with like 4.5 to go, I thought there was virtually no chance of you winning, and you found a way. So that was awesome.
Yeah, whenever they hit that 3 to go up 6 with like a minute 20 something, when you had the stop and you thought like, oh, dude, you had it, and then that guy hit the corner 3. That's where I thought it was. That's where I really thought it was over. I said it was over with like 12 minutes left too. So I'll hand up. I'll own that. But yeah, man, what an insane game. I do want to read a comment here real quick. And one caveat, there were plenty of Arkansas fans that were really kind in the comments. We appreciate that. It's fun to trash talk. We enjoy this. This one really made me laugh. This is from Luke. You guys felt pretty special with Mac McClung as well, and we shut you up. Even if Thero isn't back, you're facing the best defense you've seen in the tourney. We shot terrible against the #1 defense in the nation. We will have our way with you guys. Sorry for the L ahead of time. Have a great day tomorrow because the night's going to be rough. So thank you, Luke, for putting that in our channel.
Can I go ahead and say what my favorite comment is? And I gotta say
is it the one about me?
That one's
the best one.
That one's the best one. That's the best one. But dude, I gotta say this about Conrad, man. This guy endures a lot. He's an intelligent guy. He really carries the show a lot, and we love Conrad to death. But this dude gets absolutely obliterated in our comment section. You know, almost every episode, especially by other fans.
No, not episode.
And the one guy,
if it's not commenters, it's us. It's us obliterating Conrad.
Yeah, and
I'll take it.
Someone saying that Conrad looks like he was born with fetal alcohol syndrome might be one of the most ruthless things I have ever seen someone say on the internet. And I don't even know what that means, but I just know it's probably not good. And Conrad, I mean, I just want to know that I think you look great. You look as happy as I've ever seen you tonight. So you look good.
Well, you know, if you're going to say things like that on the internet behind a screen, you might just want to rethink about saying anything ever to anybody, because those things are not very kind, and we're all about kindness here on the Broadway Shuffle. So you probably shouldn't say that in our comments, but you know, we welcome it, happen, dude. Man.
And this is a therapy session. It rolls off, man, and you just take it with stride, and you're great. And just like Texas Tech did, let's get into a little bit of the specifics, Clay and Z2. I know we just want to react to this game, but yeah, it was honestly shocking looking at the box score at the end and seeing Christian with 22, Toppin with 20. Toppin had 20 points, 9 rebounds, and 5 blocks. And it felt like he was quiet the whole game. Christian Anderson, it felt like he was quiet until much of the second half, and he finally stepped up. We knew he was not going to stay silent all tournament. And what a moment for him, just continuing to show that he is above his age, man. I mean, Christian, and then D5, obviously not enough can be said about him. Those 3 guys really stepped up. And then shout out to the bench too. I want to get into KO, Federico, Z. I mean, honestly, like without those guys, you don't win this game.
Dude, I thought Federico, I mean, I know Darion and Christian are going to get a ton of credit, but Federico really kind of sparked that comeback on that possession where you had 6 offensive rebounds and then he got the dunk. I know you didn't go on to then just take the lead right after that, but I thought he gave you some excellent minutes, some excellent energy. He gets an A+ from me on the game. I thought he was great. Did exactly what you needed him to do. And we talked about this all year. You got to get something from your bench. And KO was great for you. I mean, he had that bad turnover in overtime, but he hit threes when nobody felt like they could hit threes. He got that run out. He got that steal. He was big rebounding. He had to guard, in most cases, either the first or the second best guy, and I thought he did a really good job. He had to, the thing about KO is he's going to give you one fouled 3-point shooter every game, and you just got to live with that. But I thought he did a wonderful job. Hat tip to the bench. They stepped up. They provided the spark that you needed in this game, and you can't really say enough about those guys.
Yeah, Clay, this was one of those games where it's like you felt like you just weren't able to ever get it, get a 7-0 run. I said with probably 10 minutes left, and I was like, man, you just need a 7-0 run, an 8-0 run, and you just weren't getting it. Every time you kind of answered, Arkansas, Nelly Davis, and credit to him, he played a phenomenal game. Would hit a 3, or Wagner would get into the paint, and you just felt like, man, you're just not getting what you need. And I have not really seen a game where you get all the way to pretty much the under 4 timeout until you finally start doing it and then find a way to win. Like, this was one of the weirdest games. I mean, you were broke. You could not hit, and it wasn't even pretty. Like, it was just broke. And dude, you found a way. It was ugly.
They got to move the mic back or something depressing on those rims. It was crazy.
Sounds like freaking the beaches of Normandy out there. Every time
it was just like
hits the rim.
50 caliber bullet slammed into a metal wall. It was terrible,
dude. But my point, Clay, and I want to go to you on this, is like you still you did enough. Like, you stayed in just long enough to then strike. And that is hard to do when you are not hitting shots and really nothing's going well. It felt like we had no energy. It felt like there was no momentum. And then all of a sudden, 4 minutes left, it's 69-63 with 2:50. And you're kind of like, hey, we're only down 2 possessions. I don't know if I've really seen a team battle back from that type of struggle in such a big game.
Yeah, same. I mean, we were talking throughout the game, like, you were staying within arm's length. Like, if you could put a run together, it definitely didn't feel that way whenever we were down 16. But credit for them to battling. Like, there was really nothing going right on offense, and you were staying within striking distance. And then I thought the coaching in the last 6 minutes was so great. I mean, you basically played perfect basketball from then on out. You realize they couldn't guard the Darion in the post or Darion off the dribble handoff, and so you just kept going back to that. Or Christian, I thought putting the ball in Christian's hands, because Elijah was struggling, was also a really big adjustment that allowed to get your offense moving. So credit to the coaches as well. And then, you mentioned earlier, like, Toppin with the quiet, what did he have, like 29 and 9, and then held ADU to 6 points. I mean, he had a great game, and he was definitely not,
And one thing I'll say about Toppin tonight, he hit big shots for you tonight, and I think all of his layups in overtime were with his right hand. I mean, he had that tough floater that was a right-handed shot, and he never shoots that. I haven't seen him shoot a right-hand floater all year. Okay, I mean, sometimes when he spins down, but
Toppin,
5 blocks.
Yeah, 5 blocks. He was 10 of 18 from the field, so Toppin was still effective. And that was a question coming into the game: is Arkansas size, which was clearly evident throughout this game. I mean, you can see that they were bigger than you at every position, and it looked like it. I mean, and I think that's where Hawkins really struggled. Is like he had a lot of big guards in his face, but still effective in the D5. 20 points, 9 rebounds, 3 assists. Again, 8 of 26 shooting, as we mentioned, 2 of 10 from 3. But boy, were his, was one of his threes pretty. Both of them were actually huge. The one in the first half was big. And then Christian Anderson ends up finishing 7 of 14 from the floor with 22 points. And Kevin Overton and Federico have 19 points and 16 rebounds combined off the bench.
Yeah, that's
huge.
That's huge.
That is huge.
Because we talked about it last episode and the episode before that. You're going to need everybody to step up. And even though Elijah didn't have his best game, like Brennan said, probably the worst game of his, maybe the worst game he's had since high school.
Easy.
It will tech career by far. But the reality is you got help from everyone. Fede played well. KO played well. I mean, they did exactly what you need to do. And you don't win this game without contributions from everybody. So I think this was a true team effort. I mean, it really, really was. And that's what I think is so exciting going into Saturday. We can talk about that later, but we just need to bask in the glory of this for now.
Yeah, yes, enjoy it.
We won't even think about anything else. I want to ask a question, and I was thinking about this here a couple minutes ago. What is the most rewarding Texas Tech win you've ever experienced, and where does this rank? I was thinking about the Gonzaga win, a couple years ago, and obviously the Michigan State win to go to the championship and the elation of that. But like with everything, with Arkansas, with the Calipari talk, with everything going on around this game, and you just looked dead in the water to find a way to win this game, it might be number 1 for me. Like this was such a rewarding basketball game. I don't know what you guys think, but I don't know if I've ever quite felt the rush of emotion watching you win a basketball game than I did tonight. It was unbelievable.
I think
it's
beating
definitely up there.
Texas at home in 2022, I think, is the biggest like emotional win I think I've had as a fan. But this one, so fun. Up there for sure. Top 5 in the last 6-7 years for me.
Okay.
Yeah. No. I think the Allen Fieldhouse win in 2018 would be up there. The Texas, this one, Gonzaga. Honestly, the win at Iowa State that clinched the Big 12 championship in 2019.
Oh, that's a great one.
Yeah.
But yeah, this one's for sure like top 5 to 10 that I've experienced.
It's so much more fun because it's like an old conference rival. It's not like you're playing Marquette or somebody. It's like, we have no ties to this university at all. All of us know 10 plus people that went to Arkansas. So that makes it more fun.
And I think that's what was so hard about this game watching is not only, this is the price we pay for having a podcast, right, Conrad? But, when you put your opinion and your thoughts on the internet for people to have, like they're going to get to them and disagree and say things. And I think knowing it was Arkansas and knowing, that we had a lot of people making fun of us and talking a bunch of trash and comments, like it felt personal for the Broadway Shuffle as well, too. And I think that's what makes it more satisfying is it was getting depressing there for a little while.
It was depressing for like 35 minutes.
We did not want to get on here and have to talk if we lost. Nobody would. If this was an Arkansas podcast, they wouldn't have wanted to get on here if they lost and talk. But the fun part about college athletics is the rivalries that you have, right? And that's why geographic rivalries are so cool. Whether you're playing in-state schools or schools around your state, that you know people who went there, right? Because I know all of us are going to have conversations with people that went to Arkansas about how their basketball program is on the decline. They may need to get a new coach already because it's obviously not working out what they have. And so looking at this and thinking about this win, Brennan, back to your question, I'd probably say it has to be it's top 5. But in the moment right now, as we sit here at 12:31 a.m. on March 28th, I think it is. Don't even know the date because I'm going to be living on in that game for a long time. That this is probably right now the best win, just because with all those other wins, I haven't had to sit here publicly and say what I think, and this one I do. And I know that even if Arkansas fans are coming after us, we took home the W and they didn't. So that makes it special for the Broadway Shuffle. So I'll put this number 1 because of that factor.
I love that. Z.
Man, how, I'm going to transition maybe a little bit off of this topic. How confident were y'all when Darion shot that 3 with like 7 seconds left? Like, I was no.
Honestly, like when you're watching your team go 3 of 24 from 3, any shot that was going up, I wasn't confident. I was like hoping even a layup would go in, and that's one thing too. And it's in basketball when you're not seeing your teammates hit shots, you lose confidence almost naturally. Like, man, none of us can get a bucket. It's typically you have your personal thing too, but it's like, man, I can't like. Man, we're just not hitting shots. Clayton and I were talking about this, and to see them route, I think Christian's corner 3, it felt like, oh, the basket just opened up, because even Hawkins in overtime, it's like, dude, not only was he missing threes, like it looked like he was looking at a different rim, like it wasn't even remotely close. And he airballed a 7-footer, and so it's like for him to hit that shot, that is a belief. That is like, hey, we've opened this up. We're playing tech basketball now. We're okay. He even had his like run towards the basket, like he thought he was going to airball it. And it swishes, it was just phenomenal. Yeah.
Dude, in terms of like clutch shots, Darion might be having the best season any Tech player has had since like Keenan Evans. I mean, he hit the 3 at Houston, the 3 at Kansas to seal that win, the 3 against Arkansas tonight, the layup to win it.
Yeah. I mean, as long as we forget the St. Joe's and the Iowa State game, Darion has been insanely clutch since like January 6th.
The St. Joe's game in November doesn't matter when you're in the Elite 8, baby.
Yeah, you're exactly right.
Even the 3 tonight, it wasn't a pure swish. It rattled. And so I was like, when it rattled, I was like, is this gonna come out? Please go down.
Man, another thing I want to mention, Christian was hitting. I don't think he had an easy shot all night. His stuff that he was hitting from the 2-point line, he didn't have any layups. He was hitting tough mid-range shots. I thought he was just really, really good. I thought he settled in. He looked comfortable. You can clearly tell he wasn't sick. Like, definitely made a difference. He was huge for you. He'd keep those, be down 15 and he'd hit a bucket and keep it 13. And then he'd get a bucket. You'd be, oh, we're down 12. Now it's just 10. He was very instrumental. And then obviously the threes. Man, huge performance from a freshman in that situation.
I'll say this about Arkansas. I was impressed. Like, this team was better than a 10 probably if they were fully healthy all year. You know, I mean, it was definitely a tougher matchup than you would have liked to see from a 10 seed. Like, that was not your average 10 seed. So for you to find a way to even beat a team that was better than probably their seeding said too, is just huge, you know. But credit to them and the game they played, because they played probably one of their best games of the year. Nellie Davis played phenomenal, and you found a way to beat a team that was riding momentum, that was confident, that was hitting shots, which they typically don't do. Like, that game had the recipe for you losing by 15 to 20, and you end up winning in overtime.
Yeah, that's
for sure.
Yeah, if you're gonna hat tip guys, man, Janelle Davis, Carter Knox, both excellent game. You know, Carter Knox way better than I thought he was going to be. And Janelle, you know, I think back to that FAU team. I mean, if you watched Elijah Martin before the game, you had Davis who was on that team. You have Vlad Golden that's on Michigan. Like, golly, they had some killers on that team. And I don't know why DJ Wagner was taking the last shots. Like, I don't know why Janelle wasn't getting a look.
Yeah, they should have called a timeout on that last possession, in my opinion.
I was reading some Arkansas beat reporters, and they were like, I'm actually really glad he didn't call a timeout, because it would have been worse than whatever we got there. It was not going to be a good play. But yeah, hindsight's probably 2020. But yeah, the long 20-footer 2-point, like,
yeah.
Zyler, we got to give the listeners what they want. Do you have a comment to read? I know we're a few minutes into the episode. Anything else you want to shout out there?
Yeah, this one was really funny. It just made me laugh because it was just so out of left field. It was from a guy named Mike, and he just commented, "Imagine looking at a newborn baby and deciding to call it Zyler." That one actually made me laugh. And then there's a gentleman named Tylus. I know he lives in Springdale. That's just a Springdale name. We are going to beat the Breaks, but break is spelled like the wrong way, and then the S, there's not a space. Off Texas Tech, watch.
Is that it?
That was a really good one. That made me laugh. No, I mean, there's a lot. This is from Jerry Chandler. He said Arkansas doesn't look at Tech as a rivalry, more of a nuisance, like a pothole on the road to a title. So, sorry to burst your bubble. If you guys want to read more comments, you should just go in there. It's really great. I appreciate Kim Coulter. Thank you for getting in there and going to war for us. There's a lot of people in the comments now.
Kim's our number one subscriber of the week right there, Kim Coulter, dude. She's amazing.
She's battling. She's battling out there. She's up late. Look at her going to war.
I wanted to shout out.
She's in the trenches.
Real quick, too. There was a comment on there that his newborn baby, it was a Texas Tech. I think it was Joseph, but he said, man, my baby was born today too, but I had to miss it to listen to the Broadway Shuffle.
That did make me laugh.
And he's a great listener of the show too. So, Conrad, I do want to get into real quick. You know, obviously there was a lot of hype around Arkansas, and these comments were just, you know, from the Arkansas fans, obviously most of them. The media, like at halftime, nothing about Texas Tech. Everything is about Calipari. Calipari was on the McAfee show. He was on Jim Rome. He was on sports. It was like this team, I mean, no one's been talking about Tech. Everyone was talking about Arkansas, and you just kind of just blocked out the noise. It's like Nick Saban saying, "Don't take the rat poison," you know. And it felt like Texas Tech said, "We understand the task at hand, and we're going to struggle." Obviously, you were in a dogfight, but just to find a way to beat this team too, with like really the national media and everyone just kind of falling in love with them during the tournament, wanting them to be the Cinderella darling, and you said not so fast. That is amazing.
Well, the reality is that Arkansas was an extremely talented team. I mean, they built a roster that was, you know, top 10 going into the country this year. And so when everybody finally got an opportunity to love this team, and they showed that they could actually, you know, be competent, and when they were, you know, winning a couple games back to back, people were quick to jump onto that bandwagon. But the reality is that you can have all the talent on paper, but you still got to go play the game. And like I mentioned in our last episode, I think Calipari's overrated. I think his glory days have passed him by. And I still absolutely believe that. And that's why he's going home to Fayetteville. And Grant and the boys are going on to the Elite Eight. But I do think that it does, you know, it does bother me. But that's just how this tournament works in the sense, because Texas Tech has been a fantastic team all year. They've been a better team than Arkansas by miles all year. And even without Chance McMillan, which we haven't even mentioned that, we still beat them. and the talent that was on that Arkansas team versus the talent star rating wise that we have is just not even comparable. I mean, they have an extremely talented team, but that's why coaching matters so much. That's why playing together matters so much. That's why playing together with a tough mentality matters so much. And that's why just having talent does not mean what it used to mean necessarily. And so I'm just more impressed about that. But the national media is going to do what they want to do, and that's why the Broadway Shuffle is here to provide unbiased content with a slight so that's why we're here. But Calipari, have a good plane ride home.
Man, one thing I will say, just the offensive rebounding. I mean, impressed by that, the toughness. And so many of them didn't lead to buckets, and you had so many offensive rebounds because you shot so poorly. But I thought that was all effort. Rebounding like that is all effort. And some of it's lucky bounces. There's, long threes lead to long, rebounds. But man, was proud of those guys there. And the other thing that I'll say, if you're a subscriber to like Shot Quality, where it measures, how good were your shots, how many points were you expected to score, I expect you to have won this game by 12 to 15 points pretty easily. I thought your process tonight was really good. I thought the plan was good. You just couldn't hit shots, and Arkansas did hit shots, and that made it look different. I don't think it's an indictment on the coaching staff. I thought your plan was pretty good. You just didn't hit shots. I think there was a world where you won this game pretty easily by 15. This is a lot more fun in my mind, but still very impressed with this coaching staff with Achoki Mokobu on the bench, Matt Brower, Jeff Linder, McCaslin, obviously. I mean, those guys are doing a wonderful job. Luke Barnwell. I mean, hats off to those guys. It takes a ton of work, and I know those guys aren't going to get to sleep at all tonight. They got a game plan for Florida, but hats off to them, man. Wonderful job tonight.
Yeah, and speaking of Florida, I know we haven't touched on that because we're just, still riding this win and this epic comeback by Texas Tech. They just opened as a 6.5-point favorite. Texas Tech has implied odds of 31% winning. So, you're going in as the underdog now. You've obviously been favored in your first 3 games. So now you get a chance to go upset the number 1 seed in your region and take care of business. This is your first time to this tournament that you are going to be the lower seed as well. Obviously having defeated a 14, 11, and 10. And Florida's good, man. I mean, this is a team that a lot of people have picked to win the national title game from the SEC. So, but if you can win a game like this, you can beat Florida. Like if anything, seeing how we won this game and seeing honestly, quite frankly, how we've won our first 3 games without shooting the ball well, gives me a lot of confidence that you can go and beat Florida. Clay, you like our chances against the Gators on Saturday?
Man, I like it. I mean, it's an Elite Eight game. Whatever team you're playing now is going to be a tough game. But yeah, you mentioned like the 6.5-point favorites. That's what we opened up against Arkansas, and you saw how that game goes. So it could definitely go either way. You're going to have to make shots to beat Florida, though. You're not going to be able to
you
beat
can't
them.
do this.
Yeah, like this is not going to work against them. But honestly, I like our coaches. I think they have. I like Todd Golden, but he seemed a little shaky in the UConn game. I trust Grant. I hope that our 3-point shooting bounces back. Obviously wouldn't expect Chance to play if he wasn't able to play today, but if he's able to give it a go, that'll, hopefully help out a little bit. But yeah, you have a shot. It's going to be tough as any game to make the Final Four is, but I like your chances.
Yeah, I mean, Florida's really good. There's just no way around it. They've got size, they've got scoring, they've got guard play, they've got defense, they've got a great coach. They really have it. It's a great team. It's easily the best team you've played so far. I mean, by a country mile. They're a 1 seed for a reason. They deserve it. You're gonna have to play really well. You're gonna need a Houston effort to beat this team, and even that might not be enough. Gonna have to play really well. Gonna have to shoot well. Gonna have to rebound. They've got like 4 guys that I think are 6'9" or above that they're going to rotate in on top, and it's going to be a battle. It's going to be a dogfight, and I trust our guys to be prepared and get ready. But this is a great team. They deserve all the respect and all the accolades that they've gotten because it really is an excellent team. And I did not say that about Arkansas.
Even though they have a bunch of front court players that are really good, I feel like I like the top end matchup with most of them. Like honestly, the ADU matchup scared me more than Condon.
I just think those guys can, because they don't really work through those guys. Well, I need to do some more reading, but when I've watched, the 5 or 6 games I've watched them, their big guys don't take a ton of shots unless they're getting rebounds from what I've seen. Now, don't quote me on that because I haven't just studied them, but they're really going to rely on Walter Clayton, Elijah Martin, I think it's Will Richard. Is that his name?
Yeah.
Yeah. And those guys are killers, man. you want somebody else to beat you besides Walter Clayton. That guy is a stud. One of the best guards in the tournament. So, going to have a good game plan.
Conrad, are you yawning? It's only 12:45 a.m., bro. You yawning?
I am yawning. It's time to go to bed, boys. But
Is it time to go to bed?
I don't know. But the thing is, though, I may get in bed and just start laying there and just start picturing Darion's 3 rattling in again and not be able to sleep and all the Christian, so you never know. But man, guys, I think Saturday is going to be real tough. I think Florida is going to be I'm not going to say you're going to lose because anything can happen, right? Like I thought you were going to lose for 90% of the game today, to be completely honest with our listeners. But the reality is you won, you found a way. And so I do think anything can happen, but I think I'm just going to bask in the glory of the Arkansas win until tip off on Saturday, whatever time that is.
Well, you make a run, Clayton's real quick. I mean, you make a run like this, you get to the Elite Eight, just getting to the Sweet 16, great year. It would have sucked, obviously, losing to Arkansas, losing to a fan base and kind of a closer rival per se, compared to if you would have played an Alabama or a Duke or someone like that. But now you're in the Elite Eight, and if you lose to Florida, you can't say like, man, we should have beat that team. I mean, if you end up playing a close game, but like that is a team that is favored to win. That is a team that's picked by over 20% of brackets to win the national title game. It's kind of like losing to Villanova in 2018 in the Elite Eight. Like you're playing a team that is a top 3 odds to win the national title. So you have had one heck of a season to even get to this point, to be able to battle for the opportunity to go to the Final Four. So like, I don't want to say it's like gravy. Like I want to go in there and win. I expect us to go
100%.
play much better than we do tonight to win. But we can hold our head high on this season now, at least. And man, you had a wild ride. You battled. This was one of the most resilient basketball teams I've seen, really at Tech, comparable to the 2018, 2019 teams. And just this season alone, the Houston win. I mean, we talk about it, the Kansas win on the road, just the wins you've had this year, even the Arizona State win at home. Like you've just found a way to battle and win. And I expect you to bring that mentality for hopefully another 3 games, Clay.
Yeah. No, I was just going to say, I feel like whenever you get past the season, like years down the line, you look back, there's not a huge difference in like a run that ends in the Sweet 16 or the Elite Eight, if ours does come to an end in the Elite Eight. But just like being in a game to make the Final Four, like a standalone college basketball game, is so fun. Like, once we actually are in that game. So I'm just happy that we get 2 more days of this at least.
The one thing that I will say that may be working, you've shot 28% from 3, 14% from 3, and 25% from 3. And this was a team that was shooting close to 40%. You are due for a monster regression game, like 50, 60%. Get that average back up into the exactly. You're due for something like that. Maybe you need one more game. Maybe you don't. But that would be the one thing that I'm like, yeah, well, maybe the ball will start going in for you.
Maybe if you got to play with your own basketball, it would go in.
Yeah, maybe not this stupid NCAA ball.
If there's one thing that I now completely trust about this team, it's that they're not going to quit. And so even if Florida's up 10.5, I'm not going to sit there like I did tonight and pout and be like, we're in trouble. Because Conrad, to your point, for 35 minutes of the game, I was like, we're done. When John L. Davis had that backdoor layup and they're up 13 with 4 minutes and 40 seconds left, I'm like, this game's over. I said it out loud, and I'm not going to do that anymore. I think I've learned my lesson, and Texas Tech taught it to me, and I'm glad they did, man. What a win. I mean, I don't think I'll be able to sleep tonight. And Conrad, me and you, we're hanging out tomorrow, dude. We get to enjoy a round of golf together and celebrate this win. And man, oh my gosh, what a win. Anything else? Do we just want to do we all want to just sit here for a second and process, or are we ready to go to bed?
We gotta wrap up so I can get back to the YouTube comments.
Okay. Yeah, I forgot you got a lot. You got like 200 comments to respond to. So
yeah,
man, Texas Tech, has the game time been dropped yet? Do we know when we play Florida?
Yeah, I think it's 6.
5:09.
Okay, sorry, that was
5:09.
Right
okay.
Now. Yep.
All right, man.
That's the first game on Saturday.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So 5:09 against Florida, man. Well, we'll be back to react to that. But Texas Tech with an epic win, epic comeback against Arkansas. Gentlemen, I'm glad we're here, man. What a first year for the Broadway Shuffle. What a ride we get to enjoy on this podcast. So we'll be back. Wreck 'em, man. Congrats to the boys. Great game. Yep. For Clayton, Conrad, and Zyler, I'm Brennan. We will see you guys next time on the Broadway Shuffle.